It's Pokeopolis back on the vlogs. I have to start editing all these vlog things because now I've missed like 2 days. I've been so busy. I've had days 5 and 6 not only to edit. I'm actually editing right now. But it's been like I had to practice 1 to 9, and then I had to do the competition like 8:30 to 8 p.m. Then I came home, and then I went to bed. Now I'm back at school. I was on spring break. Now I'm off. Now I'm back to school. Now this is what I'm gonna tell you. I won't be uploading these vlogs regularly. I mean, I'll try to do it every day. I mean, I'm trying to get it right now. But today's vlog, it'll be uploaded. I mean, maybe I could get it today, but I mean, it'll probably be uploaded like Tuesday or something. I mean, I have a lot of time. It's 6:52 right now, but yeah. So I'm just gonna keep vlogging and keeping you guys entertained. Alright guys, so here's the story about how this whole band started. So back in 8th grade, I wanted to start a new band. I just got out of my other band, which we didn't really go that far up until a certain point. I mean, we did a talent show together, so I mean that was the old band. But I was trying to find a new band. So one day I was talking to this girl, and she said her boyfriend or whatever was like all into music and reminded her of this 80s classic rock sort of guy. And I was like, okay, I want to see this guy. So I think it was like a Halloween dance I went to. I met him, and he was wearing these fingerless gloves, and he had this long hair, and he had a leather jacket. I didn't even know what this guy was, you know. But anyways, so I met him up. I said, hey, I'm a bass player. I heard you're looking for a bass player in your band. Because he had his own band that was starting up called Morbid Monkeys. This was sort of a little startup for all of us. So I asked him, hey, you know, could I be in your band? He goes, sure, okay. So, you know, he had his voice, obviously. So, you know, I just told him that I've been playing bass for about a year now. Since, you know, I did the talent show, so I was in 7th grade when I did that talent show in 2010. I think, yeah, 2010. So I told him about that. He's like, okay, yeah, alright, so alright, we're gonna have practice one day. So I was texting him and stuff, and we got practice, and we hooked up with a practice. And the band started off with, it was Joe Hunt, we had Shaggy, and then Troy Johnson, which is the drummer, and then me. We went over to Shaggy's house, which was the guitar player, the old guitar player. So we started off with that band, and we were going to try for the talent show, the 8th grade talent show at Davidson. Unfortunately, it was sort of a shot-out event. The Shaggy wasn't allowed in because he was like 19, and Troy didn't have his grades up, and he didn't really want to be in this like right now because we started the band, and then April came up, and then the talent show and everything. You know, it was sort of a shot-out moment, and it just out of the blue, we're doing a talent show. So everybody was sort of nervous about the whole thing, But me and Joe, we were the the really serious ones that we wanted to do this. And so one day, so it was like they said that that I couldn't do it. But then I was just saying, well, what if we didn't do an act? What if we just were doing a little show? And they said, okay, we can do that. So I had my dad do a little audition video, and we Joe wasn't able to make that, but my dad did the vocals, and then I played bass, and then my dad played the drums with his Bonham set. I'll put the link in below if you want to see that video. Anyways, so we did it was like on a Thursday or something, and then Tuesday was the talent show. So here's the whole dealio. Over the weekend, me and Joe were talking about, hey, we're back, we could try to be back into the talent show. I have this audition tape. I gave it to them. They said, we're in. Well, I told them that on Sunday. And then on Monday, they said, okay, you're in, but now we have to practice because the next day was the talent show. And we went to the auditions. I had my bass, Joe was singing, but this was like his first time on the stage in front of all these people, and it was just, I had my little bass amp and I was playing, and we did about like 2 minutes of the song. It was okay. I mean, he didn't really know the lyrics at the time, but now he knows the song, obviously. So anyways, I brought him back to my house. We practiced for about like 3 or 4 hours or something like that. We actually did it right here in this living room. He brought his guitar over. He had his amp. We got a microphone for him, and I had like a little Apple TV or whatever, and we hooked that up and played the song, and then we did a little practice, and it was a pretty good practice. And next thing you know, next day we're doing this talent show on Tuesday. I think it was April 14th, but I don't know. Was it April 14th? I'm not sure. I'll look that up. But anyways, we just went to the talent show, and at the talent show, I had a teacher. His name was Mr. Cadlitz. He was the guitar player. Obviously, if you didn't see the video, I'll put that in the link too. He was the guitar player, and we didn't have a guitar player because Shaggy, he was like in Trenton, and he couldn't drive all the way over to Southgate, and it was just this whole mess. So we asked Mr. Cadlitz if he could play guitar. He knew it pretty well. And my dad, spot on. He knows the drums. He's a drum teacher. Anyways. So we got it all together. We did a little dress rehearsal backstage. We plugged in our amps and we played about a little bit of the song. I actually didn't know what frets were the da-da-da-da-da-da part of the song. I didn't know that part, and then we practiced it over and I got it. I mean, I knew the I know that part, but the I didn't know what frets were on what that was located on, and I had to learn it all. And we did it right behind stage and backstage, and we got it all together. And then we went out there, and it was just, well, as you can see in the video, it was pretty awesome. I had this top hat on. I didn't really know my band fashion yet, but it was our first actually good band performance. Dad was rocking out on the drums. I was doing my bass thing. Mr. Cadlitz actually, during the solo, he fell over, and these kids backstage, I think you are able to see it. They picked him back up, and it was pretty. The video was, pretty funny. So check out the link below. I mean, I could even put a little box or something somewhere. I'll just click on the link too. So anyways, after that, we sort of did a little band change. So let me tell you about this band switcheroo thing. We after the talent show, everybody was sort of, you know, excited that, you know, this was our first gig. Joe was freaking out. Everyone was like, "Oh, we got to do this more often. We got to get some more gigs, everything." And I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! We got to practice some more, you know." We just started out this band, and we just got everything together, and now we have to, you know, get our stuff together. So I was practicing over Shaggy's for a little bit. Troy was over there. We did little practices here and there. But, see, Joe lived in Newport. That was like 30 minutes away from me. And it was 45 minutes away from Trenton, where Shaggy lives. And then over in Carlton, that's where Troy lives. So all four of us, we lived in different locations. And it was so crazy. We didn't know what to do. You know, we had to pick up people to go. Shaggy was picking me and Troy up to go over to Troy's house to practice. We practiced over Shaggy's house. We did all this stuff, and we just said, okay, we're gonna have to you know, move some band members sort of out. And so we had to decide to let Shaggy go, because we couldn't really have you know, take him, you know, have him take us everywhere. We didn't really want his gas money to be like blown out like that. Plus he lived like farther away from Troy, so I mean, we sort of had to. It was just desperate measures. You know, no hard feelings on him. I think he understands. He's with another band. They played a gig in Georgia. I mean, this is what I heard. So he's doing pretty successful right now. I don't really know what's going on with his band, but I think there's some good things going on. I mean, check out his Facebook page, Shaggy Gonzalez, whatever. I'll put the link below. Anyways, so it was just me, Joe, and Troy. We were like the serious ones of the band. Me and Joe, we started it out, this whole thing, you know. And Troy went to school with Joe, so it was easy to go over to his house and practice, and everything just went okay. But then we sort of needed a guitar player. And Troy didn't really want to be in the band anymore either. So he took a little break for a little bit. But in the meantime, he was practicing guitar, because he also played guitar, not only drums, because he was the drummer back over at Morbid Monkeys. Then we changed the name to Manic Medicine. That was still with Shaggy and Troy, but right after that, I think we changed it back to Morbid Monkeys. We didn't really like that Manic Medicine. We didn't want to be known as a druggy sort of band, and that's not what we're about. We're about the music and, you know, the old stuff back in the new, sort of making in this new sort of type of music, and we're going to try to do that as this band sort of succeeds into its newer glory. So that's the switcheroo. So more into this story I'd like to tell you about. Let's say October last year, that's when the band started to change and get a little bit more, trying to get more serious into this, trying to get farther out. We wanted to get into more gigs, like the talent show that's upcoming on Sunday, and we were trying to find so many people. We tried to find a new drummer, tried to find a new guitar player, all this stuff. And sooner or later, Troy got back in the band. He's now our guitar player. We were gonna try Morbid Monkeys again. We had this guy, Mikal, and he was like, we heard him drum the first time, and he actually took drum lessons from my dad. Which, at first I heard this and I was like, okay, this kid's gonna be awesome. We heard him, and he's pretty good, you know. And then we had a new rhythm guitar player. His name was Austin. He's not in the band anymore, but I'll tell you more about it. So anyways, Joe was telling me about his new band, and he got all these people, and Troy was going to be lead guitar, Austin was going to be rhythm guitar, and we had this new Macau kid that took drum lessons from my dad. So I really thought this new band thing was going to be really good. So we got to practice. We had to go out to, it was like somewhere in Monroe or something, and we had this little shack, and we did this practice. It was freezing out there, but we actually got some good things done. We were trying to figure out different genres of music, and trying to get to where on Joe's side it was sort of like a hard rock, grunging sort of thing, sort of like a little bit of Metallica, a little bit of Megadeth, Iron Maiden, Ozzy Osbourne, all, you know, mixed into one. How on my side, I'm sort of into that 311 sort of group, Nirvana sort of group. I'm sort of in that genre. And all these different things we're trying to put into this new band. Plus, you know, I think Macau had his own little genre, and then Austin just played Beatles. So if we got all these different sort of genres of music and we formed them together, you know, we thought this was going to actually be cool. So we tried different songs. We did a couple Beatles songs, you know. We did, I think it was System of a Down instead of what I did. We tried that, and we did Can't Take Me Down. I think we actually tried Chinese Water Torture back then too, which is one of the songs we're going to be performing at this Alive event, talent show thing. So we had a good practice. It was good, and me and Joe had a little talk, and I said, well, I don't know if Austin or Macau, you know, can do this. And he's like, what? What are you talking about? I go, well, I know Macau took drum lessons from my dad, but, you know, he wasn't really into the music that we were going into. He had his own little genre of music, and I didn't really want to corrupt the balance of that. Plus, Austin, he was cool too. It's just, I didn't think that was going to be a good band image for right now. I mean, look at me and Joe. You know, two different looking people, but same idea and actually wanting to get into a good band. And we got these two new people. We just got into practice with them, and I just didn't think it would work out. So I talked to Joe about it. Eventually, Michael didn't want to do it. Macau didn't want to do it anymore. And I was like, okay, then who's going to be the drummer? So now, Joe was talking about this new kid, Caleb. And I heard about him, and his brother was in some type of band. I looked at their band, his brother's band page. They're pretty good. I'll put the link for them too. And I didn't know about this Caleb because he wasn't showing up for practices. And plus, we were all, Caucasian, and no particular into the race, but, I didn't know how this whole, one of Joe's quotes was, he was like the whitest black guy. Like, he really likes all this rock music. And I was like, okay, cool. There's actually, because I didn't think that a whole, I mean, there's the jazz people, and you got that, what's his name? You know, Little Richie and all that. And Jimi Hendrix, you know. And I was just thinking of all those people, I'm thinking, well, maybe he's sort of like them. He wasn't showing up to practice. It was just me, Joe, and Troy. We were trying to get our practices done. And he wasn't really showing up, and I didn't really know about him. And then finally, I think it was like Friday of last week. We had a good practice, and he came over, and I met him. He seemed like a cool guy. He starts getting on the drums. He blows them away. You know, doing all these fills that, you know, I learned from my dad. All these different rhythm patterns and rock beat patterns. And I'm like, this is great. And he was putting them into the Can't Take Me Down and this Chinese Water Torture. And he did Nirvana like perfect. So anyways, Caleb's the new drummer. Troy's the lead guitar player. Joe is the singer, and I'm the bass player. So we got this pretty good group, and let me just tell you about how this whole Alive event got into the, you know, audience thing. So one day I was in band class and I was talking to my friend Reagan, and she said there was this church event band thing that she was going to, and her band was going to play there. And I was like, okay, what is it? And I saw this form, and she showed me this form. And it was this Battle of the Bands. And I was like, that's something that we could, you know, compete with. So I was like, okay, do you think you could give me the form? She said, yeah, okay. But really, she got the form from Thomas. There's this guy named Thomas. He's in our band class. He plays trumpet. Anyways, so he goes to that church, which is Metro South, over by Home Depot, 21080 Penn Street in Taylor, Michigan. I think it's like 48180. The zip code, so that's the address or whatever. If you want to know it, put it in the box or whatever. Anyways, so he went to this church and he learned about it and he showed it to Reagan. I was like, okay. So I talked to Thomas. He gave me the audition thing or fill out sheet. So it was $50 to get in, and we were gonna it was $50 to get in. It's $5 a person, and they had all this stuff about like there was 6 prizes. If you didn't hear about the prizes, I'll tell you them again. The first, they have 2 different things, 6 prizes, but they have judging, and then they have the audience judge. It's like you go backstage and you get a number and you text which band you want to be, you know, getting all these prizes, which is first, which is second, which is third. So they have this little tally vote, and then they have these like 3 or 4 judges or something like that, and they look at the band, they get your lyrics, and they look at the lyrics and trying to get matched up. Plus they want to look at your originality and your clothes and your performance and all this different stuff, and they're going to judge on that and see if you can get first, second, or third. Each band is going to get in there's going to be 10 bands and 6 prizes. So 4 bands will not get any prizes. That means 6 bands will. So there's a most likely chance that we have a good chance at winning. Now, here's another thing. First prize for each side is $500. Second prize for each side is either 40 t-shirts of the band's logo or a recording at the Metro South studio. I think Joe wants to do the recording because we need to start getting albums and putting on iTunes and getting all this business sort of thing. I'm actually in economics, so I'm sort of learning in that class, and then I'm putting it into band so we can, sell some stuff, get some money for the band. All works out. Economics. Anyways. And then the third prize is $50 in a rubber chicken. Of course, that's pretty funny. But, I mean, $50 will still help get us, like a wireless mic, because Joe's always breaking the mics. Yeah, not the really safest singer when he starts rocking out, if you saw Vlog 5 or 4, something like that. Anyways, so I showed Joe this. He was all interested. Everybody was interested. And I paid the $50, so we're all getting the money, back to me somehow. Anyways, so what we did was, me and Joe, we got our lyrics printed out. We had to submit the lyrics. We had the 4 people on there. Actually, it was Austin, but he couldn't make it, so we had to erase his name. So we got Joe, me, Caleb, and Troy, and that's it. This is like serious business to you. So me and Joe, we went to the church. It was like about 8 o'clock, 8:30, and we met up with this guy, Adam. He is the pastor there, and he's a real cool guy. Check out his Facebook, check out the Alive page, whatever. I'll put all those links in below just so you guys can check these out. Anyway, so I met this guy, Adam, and he's this really cool guy, and he's just starting out this whole Alive Battle of the Bands thing. And it was really, he's a really cool guy, like I just said. And we came in there, and I gave him the $50. Me and Joe introduced ourselves. The place is pretty cool. It's got its own cafe. It's got this little registration center up in front. And it's got this auditorium, which is like big. And it has 3 screens and a big old stage and seats. And it's just incredible. Me and Joe were like, we walked in each other, we looked at each other, and we were like, this is awesome. He showed us the auditorium, and we got up on stage, and they were setting everything up and all that. I think they actually wanted us to play, but we had to get Joe back over to his house because he lived all the way in Newport, and we had to get him back to his dad. Didn't want to get him late for school or something like that. Anyways, so we met this guy. They turned on the PA system. The PA system is like this big old board, all these cords connected, and they played it with this one song, and it blasted. It was just like the best. It was like awesome. It was awesome. It was awesome. So I shook the guy's hand. I said, hey, this is great. I'm all registered and everything. And he's like, cool, all right, and he's a real cool guy. I want you guys to meet him. Go to Metro South Church. Also, go to the church, Christian faith and all that. If you want to get in it, and find your way in Christianity. I have my own church, Christ the King, Lutheran, anyways. But go to Metro South Church. It's a good church, and it'll really get you into the Christian way. So, I'm just going to tell you this now. It's going to be awesome. April 14th at 5 p.m. It's $5 to get in. Not a big fee, My band's called Feast of Diamonds. Check out the page. I'll put that in the link below. All these links will be in the below. So check us out. Peace out, rock on, and I'll see you guys in the next video.